Welcome. My name is Logan Locke, and I'm an Eagle Scout for Troop 25 in Custer, South Dakota, sponsored by the Custer Rotary Club. I've been active with the theater program and am secretary of the student council at Custer High School. I've also been a member of the cross-country team that won the state championship and have qualified for state in the 300-meter hurdles twice so far and plan on making it again this year. I'm a member of the National Honor Society, and I'm currently ranked 3rd in my class at the end of last semester. I will be attending Northern Arizona University this fall and majoring in Parks and Recreation with an emphasis in tourism and hospitality. It's my pleasure to be the Master of Ceremonies for the 18th Annual Leadership Breakfast for Scouting. The breakfast serves as the kickoff celebration for the Friends of Scouting campaign and provides us an opportunity to show you what your support has accomplished. This year's theme is Blueprint for Success. Character, values, and leadership don't just happen. The Scouting program is a blueprint for success. The blueprint offers discoveries and adventures that include teachable moments where a young person can develop skills and inner strengths. A young person will develop into a leader with skills in cooperation, respect for himself and others, and a firm foundation of ethical behavior. Scouting allows youth to build on each experiential lesson to develop life skills and timeless values. We start to build footings in the Cub Scout program. Boys and girls in kindergarten through 5th grades are super excited to be part of this family-centered program. They progress through the ranks earning lion, tiger, bobcat, wolf, bear, bugler, and the Arrow of Light awards. Strong family bonds are created through exciting activities like building and racing Pinewood Derby cars, rain gutter regatta boats, or space derby rockets. Cub Scouts earn badges and achievements like cooking, pet care, safety, sports, keeping healthy, and being a good team player. And for many is the beginning of making new friends and understanding that community service projects like planting trees and shrubs or collecting food for those in need can be personally rewarding and fun. Cub Scouts experience the great outdoors through day camp at community parks and fairgrounds and overnight camping at Medicine Mountain Scout Ranch. The foundation begins to build in Boy Scouts. It's a rugged outdoor adventure program for young men ages 11 through 17 and develops character, fitness, citizenship, and leadership. A Scout learns how to do things for himself and deepens his understanding of his duty to God, country, and family. Earning merit badges helps every Scout set goals and exposes them to hundreds of career choices. Just about every Scout has the lofty goal of becoming an Eagle Scout, and even though it's difficult at times, the badges are tough, and juggling sports and school activities make schedules pretty wild. Scouts do their best, and 17 young men earned the rank of Eagle this past year. The framework begins to take shape in venturing. That's a program for boys and girls ages 14 through 20 who take a lead role in planning their programs in areas of service, outdoors, social, and fitness. Thousands of Scouts and Venturers participate in our own Medicine Mountain Scout Ranch and the National High Adventure bases like hiking at Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico, scuba diving at the Florida Sea Base, or canoeing in the boundary waters of Minnesota, or attending the National or World Jamboree at the Summit in West Virginia. Completing our blueprint for success is our Exploring program. These young men and women are getting hands-on education in a variety of career fields such as medicine, law enforcement, engineering, and science. We have some great Explorer posts sponsored by Rapid City, Sturgis, and Belle Fourche police departments, as well as Martin, Spearfish, and Newcastle fire departments. Young people get to try out careers in a non-classroom setting. Robert Gates said, "Every day and in every community in America, Scouting is changing the lives of America's youth, teaching them to build character and integrity. Every day in every community, Scouting makes those communities a better place to live. We have been doing this for 108 years, and I'm confident we will do it for another 108, as long as we stand together, united in a singular mission to serve America's youth." I'm an example of the Scouts you see around this room, and there's many more, over 1,600 here in Black Hills Area Council, and many more that need and desire to be members of our great organization. We believe in the programs of Scouting. We are well-rounded and will become productive citizens of this great country. Well, there you have it, a snapshot of Scouting and a little bit about the blueprint to success. But these things, the programs, camps, and leadership development courses, come at a price. It costs money to maintain the best facilities, employ the best staff, and do all those good deeds Scouts are known for. Your contributions help make this program possible, and we are indebted to you for your generosity. Thank you. As you know, Scouting promotes citizenship, patriotism, and love of country Please stand as Lion Scout Nathan Stetzer from PAC 16, sponsored by the Piedmont Lutheran Church, will lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will everyone please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Thank you, Nathan. And now Ian Stetzer, Weeblo Scout from PAC 16, will lead us in the Scout Oath and Law.
Everyone please put your Scout sign up. If you don't know the Scout Oath or the Scout Law, they'll demonstrate. Scout Oath. On my honor,
I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to help the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Scout Law.
Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
You all may be seated. Thanks, Ian. I would now like to invite to the stage Michael Stetzer, sponsored by the Piedmont Lutheran Church, to lead us in prayer.
Scout Law. Reverend, please prepare yourself for prayer. Heavenly Father, we pray for many things. For faith in the world where many walk in fear. For food in the world where many walk in hunger. For leadership in the world where so many walk, many only follow. For friends in the world where many walk alone. For freedom in the world where many are held captive. And Father, so to bless us with humor, understanding that the world smiles in the same language. Finally, Lord, place your loving hand over this assembly today, who give of their time, talent, and treasure, enabling scouting to become a reality for so many young people. In this we pray, in your name, amen.
Thank you, Michael, for those inspiring words. Thanks to everyone for being here as we celebrate 108 years of Scouting and kick off the 2018 Friends of Scouting campaign. We once again have record attendance with more than 336 Scouting friends, community leaders, and Scout volunteers. Now breakfast will be served and we will continue our program shortly after everyone has a historic moment for Scouting and the Blackface Area Council.
The Boy Scouts of America Board of Directors unanimously approved the Welcome to Girl Scouts and Honor Cub Scout program. Beginning in fall 2018, and to deliver a scouting program for older girls that will enable them to advance and earn the highest rank of the Girl Scout will start in 2019. It is important to note that the BSA did not decide to make the Cub Scouting and Boy Scout programs co-ed. Instead, the organization has introduced a youth model that builds on the benefits of a single-gender program while also providing character and leadership opportunities for both boys and girls. The Black Hills Area Council was selected to offer an early enrolled program in January. Parents can choose to sign up their sons and daughters for Cub Scouts. Churches, partners, organizations may choose to establish a new girl pack, establish a pack that consists of a girl den and a boy den, or a main and all-boy pack. Girl Scouts den will be a single gender, or all boys or all girls. The council selected 3 units to adopt the earlier enrolled program. PAC 16 in Piedmont, South Dakota, PAC 45 in Custer, South Dakota, and PAC 67 in Upton, Wyoming. We currently have 17 female youth registered. A A unique approach allows the council to maintain the integrity of the single-gendered model while also meeting the needs of today's families. Our first registered girl was Cheyenne Sidlinger from PAC 67 in Upton, Wyoming. Cheyenne has seen her brother and neighbors grow up in scouting, and she wanted to have the same opportunity. Scouts have been a family program for the Sidlinger family. Cheyenne is a third grader in Upton and has been extremely active with the Upton Volunteer Fire Department. She's even helped put out homecoming bonfires and has become an expert in CPR and first aid. She's a straight A student that has played basketball, softball, baseball, and was even a wrestler. She loved the outdoors, shooting sports, and family activities. She's an unbelievable spirit and is driven to be successful in scouting. Today, we'd like to honor Cheyenne as our first registered girl in Cub Scouts, as well as present her with the first ranking Cub Scouts, the Bobcat badge. Please join us in congratulating Cheyenne on these historic accomplishments. Additionally, our annual Scouting Award program, we present numerous awards to the Scouting volunteers. One of these awards is the Scouting Family of the Year. This year, our Scouting Family of the Year was the Sidlinger family. We would also like to present this award to them now. Scouting is truly a family program, and the Scouts embrace it. They have been the driving force to keep Scouting alive and well in the Upton community. Congratulations as well on the achievement and what you do for Scouting.
We're too busy taking pictures.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations, Cheyenne and the Sidlinger family, and thank you, Zach, for presenting the award. I would now like to invite Kenny Brown to the stage. Kenny is currently a Life Scout and has just turned in his paperwork this weekend to become an Eagle Scout in the class of 2018. He is a member of Troop 44, sponsored by Canyon Lake United Methodist Church. He leaves for Marine Corps boot camp in June of 2018.
On March 24th, 2014, our council and our community lost a great leader who changed Scouting in the Black Hills. Arthur T. Jansen, former Scout executive of the Black Hills Area Council. Art was also instrumental in securing the funds and building the Boy and Girl Scout Service Center in Rapid City. Under his leadership, a Boy Scout Keynote Day was established in 1970, which later became a community-wide program, and is still an annual event in Rapid City today. For 21 years, Art served as coordinator of this event. After his passing, the council named the Eagle Scout of the Year award in his honor. Now will all Eagle Scouts in the room please stand up to be recognized. This year, our Eagle Scout of the Year award goes to Ryan Aaronsdorf from Troop 72, guarded by Calvary Lutheran Church. Ryan is a senior at St. Thomas More High School. Ryan has been a starter on the football team since his junior year. He is a two-time all-conference linebacker. Ryan signed his national letter of intent on signing day in February to play football at Chatham State University. Ryan said that he really loves the game of football. Like scouting, has helped him to develop leadership skills and achieve goals as a team. He believes that both scouting and football have helped him to keep him mentally and physically healthy. Ryan plans to major in biology, and upon graduation join the Coast Guard. He would like to be a marine biologist in the Coast Guard. Ryan said in his application for Eagle Scout that he loved biology and the ocean. Scouting taught him to serve others and to love his country. This is a great way for him to mix all the things he likes to do into a career. Outside of scouting, Ryan has been involved as a volunteer server and has often helped at Mass. He has been a youth football coach and really enjoys mentoring the younger youth. He enjoys snorkeling, spearfishing, mountain biking, and snowboarding. Ryan said the scouting has taught him to be respectful and to really care about others before yourself. He really takes it to heart. Scouting helped him with the life skills of teamwork and leadership. It taught him to embrace and enjoy and succeed in leadership roles. Ryan is a member of BHAC 33 and has been involved in scouting for 12 years. He has earned 29 merit badges, as well as all of the Cub Scout ranks, including Arrow of Light, the highest award a youth can receive in Cub Scouts. He has also earned the World Conservation Award, the Cub Scout Outdoor Activity Award, and the Leave No Trace Award. His Eagle Scout project benefited the Air and Space Museum in Box Elder. And for these reasons and many more, we are honored to present the R. Jansen Eagle Scout of the Year Award to Ryan Aaronstorff.
Congratulations, Ryan, and best of luck at Shining State. I would now like to welcome to the stage Tabitha Pillin from Newcastle Volunteer Fire Department, Explorer Post 66, to present the Explorer of the Year Award. Tabitha was the first to receive the award honoring her brother.
On November 18, 2013, the Newcastle community and Explorer Post 66 were in shock by the tragic death of 15-year-old Wyatt J. Pillin. Wyatt was a Cub Scout and was a member of 4-H, FFA, high school rodeo, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He enjoyed shooting sports, wrestling, rodeo, basketball, baseball, football, dancing, and being involved in training with the Explorers. He was a leader in the Newcastle Fire Export program, and his dream was to be a rancher and a fireman following graduation. Because of the impact that Wyatt had, I am honored to present the Wyatt Pillin Explorer of the Year Award. On November 16th of 2017, Ivan contacted Officer Dylan Sisko while he was off duty at home. Ivan advised Dylan that he was on his way to check on a kid that was friends with his sister. The juvenile male had made several suicidal comments and mentioned that he was thinking about killing himself. Ivan's sister had brought that matter to his attention, and he immediately was concerned and told Officer Sisko that he needed to do something to help. Ivan informed me that we were on their way to speak to the kid and asked what he should look for if the teen had taken pills. He was advised that the results could be varied, but reminded him that if he felt like anything was wrong, he should activate the emergency response system. Ivan said he would keep Officer Sisko in the loop and hung up. A short time later, Explorer Post 108 cadet Ivan Reiger called Officer Sisko back with the following details. Ivan had contacted the teen, who was despondent and emotional. Ivan had spoken to the teen and was able to build a rapport. The teen had been experiencing bullying at school, and one of the bullies had tossed him a bag of pills and told him to kill himself. For the rest of the day, the teen had been receiving harassing messages via social media, all pushing that he should harm himself. Explorer Ivan pressed the teen about taking the pills. The teen confessed to Ivan that he had taken a couple of pills and just wanted to go to sleep. At this point, Cadet Ivan called 911. He knew from his Explorer training that law enforcement completes a petition to get psychiatric evaluations conducted on anyone who tries to self-harm. Ivan also knew that medical attention was required and dispatched sent an ambulance. While help was on the way, Ivan convinced the team to talk to his parents. This conversation revealed that he had taken more pills than initially thought. The team was transported to the hospital to receive help. Officer Sisko stated that Ivan's actions and follow-through saved the life of a young teen. Any suicide, let alone a teen suicide, caused by bullying and abuse is a difficult and complex situation. Cadet Ivan made considerable effort to speak to the team and gather the details in a caring way. Ivan knew that professional help was required, even though the troubled teen had requested that he not tell anyone. Ivan then bravely reported the situation, showing courage, compassion, and ethical maturity. Ivan's time with the cadet program has given him the tools and confidence to contact authorities. For these reasons, and many more, we are honored to present our Wyatt Pillen Explorer of the Year Award to Ivan Rager.
Congratulations, Ivan. I would also like to take this time to surprise one more person. This award is normally presented at our annual awards lunch in January, but we thought we would save this for another occasion. The William H. Spurgeon III Award is the highest recognition for the individuals and organizations contributing significant leadership to the Exploring program. The Council may present the Spurgeon Award to schools, businesses, industries, labor unions, governmental agencies, civic clubs, fraternal groups, and other community organizations that have demonstrated an outstanding record of providing significant leadership to the Exploring program. This year, the recipient of this award is Randy Brennick from Post 108, sponsored by the Sturgis Police Athletic League. Randy has been extremely involved in youth development when not running his funeral home. He has made the Sturgis Police Post one of the finest in the council, and as an Eagle Scout takes many troubled youth and guides them to becoming productive citizens. One youth attended the FBI Academy, and another youth learned skills to save the life of another this past year. Randy has been an advocate for the youth of Sturgis, and has made it his mission to grow the Sturgis Police Athletic League, and has dreams of having a huge facility for the programs in the near future. The Black Hills Area Council and Sturgis are blessed to have Randy helping develop their youth. 2 years ago, the Sturgis Police Post won the state conference for community service projects. Randy, congratulations on being the second ever recipient of this award in the Black Hills Area Council. I would now like to welcome to the stage Ian Beckett, the Lodge Chief of our Order of the Arrow Lodge, or our National Honor Society of Scouting. Ian is a sophomore and standing at the South Dakota School of Mines, majoring in mining engineering, and plans to graduate in 2020.
Good morning. It's truly an honor to give the State Council address. No worries, this won't be as long-winded as many others that are here this morning, or some that you might be familiar with, Tim Sharkey. 2017 was a great year for the Black Hills Area Council. We received gold level rating, the highest the council can receive, for the Journey to Excellence Council Rating Program, and saw improvement in many areas. Additionally, we were the only council in the area to report bronze or better in every single category. We are currently rated gold for the year 2018 as well. We balanced the budget last year and increased our popcorn sales. Last year, our leadership breakfast was the highest in council history, raising over $95,000 to support scouting locally. We had a 4.2% increase in membership and 12 consecutive months of membership growth. We were tied for the highest increase of all Western Region Boy Scout councils. As of today, we have a 15% increase in membership and have guaranteed us growth through June 30th of this year. This will be 18 consecutive months of membership growth. We had 17 Eagle Scouts in 2017, and all of their projects left a lasting impact on the community. We completed an audit of 2016 of our financials, and we are proud to say we had no audit adjustments, no significant deficiencies, and no material weaknesses. Camp improvements continue to happen, and our Order of the Arrow received a grant to continue improvements for our fire hall. This wouldn't be possible without the leadership of our council executive board. Will you please stand and be recognized? I would also like to thank our P3, Council P3, Quentin Riggins, Council President Mike Lewis, Council Commissioner, and Tim Bouchard, Scout Executive CEO. At this moment, I'd like to actually introduce Quentin Riggins for a speech here. He's going to say some final words for our Scout Executive.
Thank you, Ian. Just wanted to briefly recognize Tim Bouchard. Tim has been our council executive for the past 4.5 years. 4.5 years ago, in this very room, we hired Tim, and the state of the council was much different then than it is today. Tim, through his leadership, has accomplished many of the things that Ian mentioned. Our council has also increased our endowment fund during Tim's watch, in addition to the great things that Ian mentioned for 2017. None of these things would have been possible without your leadership, Tim. As many of you know, Tim has taken a position with the National Scout Office, and this is really his last large activity for the council. He'll be leaving us in 2 weeks. And so I just want to thank you on behalf of the executive board, Tim, and the 4 presidents that you served with during your time here, and just let you know that were it not for your leadership, we wouldn't be where we are today. You've been a great asset to this community. You'll always be a part of this council. We hope that you come back and visit us, and you're welcome anytime that you're in the area. Thank you very much for your service.
I'll just say some final words about Tim myself. Thank you for your tireless efforts and your dedication to this council and the Black Hills area. You will be missed by many. Don't forget about us. Best luck in your new position with the National Council as the Senior Corporate Development Specialist. Can you please stand and be recognized, Tim? And one more thing. Tim would want me to recognize his staff. Would you all stand and be recognized and thanked for the sacrifices and time you commit to growing scouting in the Black Hills? Scouting is truly a blueprint to success, and our council is leading the way. We are alive and well in the Black Hills, and we thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, Ian. Let me just tell you a few statistics from a recent Baylor University study when it compared Eagle Scouts to men who weren't in scouting. 66% are more likely to volunteer. 73% are more likely to have voted in the last presidential election. 55% more likely to be in a leadership position at their place of employment, and 76% more likely to hold a leadership position in their local community. You have heard about scouts whose dreams were fueled by your support. I would now like to welcome to the stage David Ritter from Troop 72, sponsored by Calvary Lutheran Church, for the all-important ask.
First, for every 100 boys who join the Scouting, 5 will become Eagle Scouts. 9 will enter education, learn through the Merit Badge program. 1 will use scouting skills to save the life of another person. Additionally, twice as many scouts will graduate from college compared to the general population. And what about all scouting alumni? Well, 89% of senior class participants were scouts, 85% of FBI agents, 68% of West Point graduates, 72% of Rhodes Scholars, and 89% of the astronaut corps were scouts. Now, how do parents of scouts versus non-scouts feel about the scouting program? Scouts learn valuable skills, 96% versus 77%. Develop leadership traits, 94% versus 73%. Respect for others, 92% versus 70%. Strong morals and values, 91% versus 66%. Now pay close attention to these alarming statistics. Every day in our country, 8,300 high school students drop out, 4,133 youth are arrested, 18,493 public school students are suspended. Many say the moral fabric of our country is eroding, but I am so pleased that scouting has stood the test of time and continues to be a blueprint for success, a path to responsibility, and a values-based organization that makes a positive difference in the lives of scouts like me. Our financial support is needed today more than ever before, and you will continue to make a difference in the lives of young people like me. For without you, who? And if not now, when? You can make an impact, and now is the time. I represent 1,600 scouts and 900 volunteers who appreciate your passion for scouting and our efforts to ensure that all young people who desire to participate can do so, regardless of their financial resources. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to help scouting thrive and grow in South Dakota. More than ever, young Americans need the character building, the leadership skills, and the lessons in personal responsibility that the scouting has offered. We are committed to giving scouts like me the tools and experiences, the knowledge and the faith to make the world a better place. The scouting mission may be lofty, but with your help it is attainable. For without you, who? And if not now, when? You can make an impact, and now is the time. Many of us will earn the Eagle Badge, become parents, city leaders, and business executives. We are the future. A scout, ask you to support scouting through a financial pledge to our council's 2018 Friends of Scouting annual campaign. Your contributions are above and beyond the allocation we received from the United Way, where we are proud and grateful for our long-time partnership. It is our hope that everyone here today makes a financial pledge to support scouting. With your generous help, we should be well on our way to raising our goal. We are asking that everyone consider a minimum pledge of $160. Many of you also work for companies that provide matching funds, so please indicate that on your card. I know that many guests contribute at a much higher level, and for that we share our appreciation. As you think about your gift and my request, consider the phrase, give until it feels good. Every size gift is important and won't it feel good to help 1,600 scouts, 900 volunteer scout leaders, and make a positive difference in the lives of scouts like me? You will help us, won't you? Your table host can discuss the specifics of completing your pledge card and the ways you can pay your pledge, either today or in payments over the course of the next year. Please make sure to sign, date, and verify your mailing and earn your card through your table host. For those that are using a Visa or MasterCard, please be sure to sign and date and include your digital code. So at this time, table hosts, please distribute the pledge cards, and after your guests pour them out, collect them and give them to scout or staff members as they come around the table. Please remember, remain seated as you listen to our speaker, Scott Mitchell.
Just slap
I would like to thank you for your generous contributions. It is now with great pleasure that I would like to introduce Eagle Scout Brian Ahrensdorf from Troop 72 to introduce us.
Scott Mitchell grew up in a small town in Utah where sports became his passion. He was an all-state player in 3 sports, the MVP in football and baseball, and a high school All-American. He won state championships in football and baseball. He was the Utah State MVP in football and baseball and the Utah Gatorade Player of the Year. Scott's pursuits and success in the athletic realm continued at the University of Utah, where he majored in economics. In 4 years at Utah, he set the WAC and 38 NCAA passing records, along with every major passing record at Utah. He was an All-WAC in 1988. He is also named the Conference Player of the Year. The Miami Dolphins selected Scott in the 4th round of the 1990 NFL Draft. He played professional football for 12 years with the Dolphins, Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens, and Cincinnati Bengals. He was named AFC and NFC Player of the Week and Player of the Month several times in the NFL. Scott finished his career with over 17,000 passing yards and 115 touchdown passes. In 2009, he became the head football coach at his alma mater, Springfield High School in Utah. His team went to the state playoffs each year and advanced to the finals and semifinals. He was named High School Coach of the Year. Scott said it was an honor to give back to the community that had given him so much growing up. Scott has been inducted into the Nebo School District Sports Hall of Fame, the University of Utah Crimson Club Hall of Fame, and the Utah Sports Hall of Fame. Scott loves getting to know people and has turned the curiosity into 2 successful multimedia podcasts with subscribers across the globe. One is called Helmets Off, the other with former NFL and college great Jason Buck, called Rivals. Scott also co-hosts a Sunday night sports show on ABC called Real Sports Live. In the summer 2014, Scott began a life-changing transformation process as a reality TV personality on the critical acclaimed show The Biggest Loser. A national audience saw Scott overcome a very real and difficult challenge of obesity. He recently authored the book Alive Again, where he shared the lessons and secrets he learned throughout his life about how we can better ourselves. Scott also speaks around the country sharing his secrets on how we can tap into the magnificent power within us and find our true potential. Scott is married to Wendy and has 5 awesome children. He loves fly fishing in the outdoors and is an Eagle Scout. He's very active with coaching kids in sports and loves serving in his church. Please help me welcome Scott to the stage after this short little video.
What's it take to be a pro quarterback in the NFL? It takes effort. It takes determination. It's practice, even after practice is over. And for Scott Mitchell, it takes one really brave mascot. Scott Mitchell, proving just how determined an Eagle Scout can be.
While playing football for the Miami Dolphins, I got extremely sick on a plane flight from Miami, Florida to Cleveland, Ohio. By the time we landed, I was so sick they had to take me to the hospital. The doctor did an evaluation and he came back with some disturbing news. He said, "You have this highly contagious form of pink eye. You will not be able to play in the game tomorrow." Our athletic trainer who was with me said, "It's okay, he doesn't play in the game anyway. Some guy named Dan Marino plays all the time." So they put me in a hotel room, and I was as sick as I've ever been in my life. I was throwing up. I didn't sleep at all. I had a fever, kind of like this hotel last night. I didn't sleep at all. I was sick and all these things. I went to breakfast after the night of no sleep. The doctor said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any energy, but if you needed me to play, I could play in an emergency." He said, "Fine. Dress, don't warm up, and stay away from everyone." The game started, and we got out to a 14-point lead. We were going in to score again, and Dan Marino dropped back to pass, planted on his right foot, and blew out his Achilles. I immediately began to panic because I hadn't sweated the drop, I hadn't stretched a muscle, and I hadn't thrown a pass. And here I was going into the game, so I'm frantically trying to do jumping jacks and throw passes when Coach Shula said, "Mitchell, you're in."
Goes out of the ball game. Mitchell will operate the shotgun. 3rd down and 6 from the Browns' 10-yard line. Somebody jumps from the Browns. Mitchell takes the snap, goes to the near side.
So this was the first play that I ever played in the NFL. It's a 97-yard touchdown. It's still a Cleveland Browns record. Fortunately for me, we have a thing called halftime, which was basically right after that play. We went into halftime, and Coach Shula was trying to rally the troops and say, "Hey, everything's going to be okay." And I looked around at my teammates, and they said, "No, it's not going to be okay. He's in the hospital, he's not Dan Marino, and he's throwing interceptions." We went out for the second half, and I got in the huddle, And I just felt like I had to say something. And I said, I looked at all my teammates, and I said, just do your job. Don't worry about me. I'm prepared to do this. Often in our lives, we have these moments where things aren't going the way we want, or we're trying to accomplish something. And I found the things that have helped me to be prepared in my life. The first thing I found was you have to see yourself as that person long before it ever happens. Our minds are an amazing instrument, the greatest computer ever invented. And every thought you have literally has an impact on your physical well-being. I always say this statement, whatever you think, you're right. If you think you can do it, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. I was in the 6th grade. We had career orientation or aptitude tests, and at the end of the week, I sat down with the counselor to review my test scores. And he said, you need to pick a profession. And your tests say that you're going to be either a mortician or a garbage man. What would you like to do? And I just sat there, bewildered. And he said, well, you don't have to pick one of these professions. Pick something that you really think you can do. I said, well, I'm going to be a professional football player. He said, Scott, no one from Springfield, Utah has ever been a professional football player. Pick something you can really do. So I sat there for a minute. I was like, I don't know what to say now. My mom was sitting there. I'm like, well, just say something to get out of here. And then I said, no. And I was having this conversation in my mind. I said, no. And I looked him in the eye and I said, I'm going to be a professional football player. They wrote that down as my career choice in the 6th grade. 1990, I was drafted by the Miami Dolphins. My mom said, do you remember that day in the 6th grade when you were in Mr. Jensen's office? She said, I've never forgotten that. And neither had I. It's so important that we become that person today. And we see that and we believe that in our mind. What was on the show called The Biggest Loser? In fact, there are more people, I think, that recognize me from that than when I played professional football. Most of them are women, 45 years of age. And it was a lesson in humility to go on that show, to be in front of millions of people and share the things you struggle with. And at the process of the show, I was sequestered. I was alone. I wasn't by my family. I couldn't talk to them. And I would hike every morning. And as I would hike, I would think about my life and reflect upon all the things that had happened. And after about a month of this, I was so depressed about my life. And I felt like I failed. And I felt like I hadn't accomplished all that I wanted to in my life. And I was so overcome by this feeling that I fell down on the ground and I began to sob. And I couldn't stop crying. And I just said in my mind, I want to quit. This is way too much. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to quit. And as I sat there crying, this voice came into my head that said, if you quit now, you'll have to live with this for the rest of your life. Find a way to get up one more time. Well, I don't want to do that. I've been getting up all my life and overcoming these struggles. I'm tired of this. I don't want to get up. I want to quit. I want to go home. And again, find a way to get up one more time. If you quit now, you'll live with this for the rest of your life. I got up. And the next morning as I was laying in my bed, it all came very clear to me how valuable failure is in our life. It's essential to our success. I learned so much about myself in those moments when I failed that I never would have known had I not. I learned humility, and I learned determination, and I learned perseverance, and I learned forgiveness, and I learned how to work hard. And I learned that it was okay to fail. In fact, it's wonderful that we fail. We should try to fail sooner in our lives because we'll figure out success much faster if we do. My success in life has been built on a foundation of failure. I had a great friend in college. And we were really close. And we got separated from our friendship because it became toxic. And I decided that I no longer wanted to be his friend because it wasn't getting me where I needed to be. A few years ago, I was in an airport, and I saw my friend passing by in the airport, and I turned, I thought, I'll go say hi. Time has passed, we can heal and mend old fences. And I turned to leave and chase him down in the aisleway of the airport. And I reached out as I got to him and almost grabbed his shoulder. And I said in my mind, don't do that. You're just going to bring back that toxic friendship. And literally, as my hand was almost touching his shoulder, I took it away and walked away. And to this day, he doesn't even know that it happened. And I've realized in my life that you are the sum of the 5 people that are closest to you. And the friends that you have, the friends that you associate with, have such a huge impact on your success in life. I interviewed a famous doctor who, he's on the nominating committee for the Nobel Peace Prize for medicine, first radiation biologist in the world. He was commissioned by the Department of Defense to create a micronutrient to offer to military combatants to help them recover. And he found an interesting thing in creating this formulation. He said, vitamin C that's very good for you, and zinc that is also very good for you, when you combine the two together, they cancel out their impact. And they flush right out of your body without providing any nutritional value. There are some times in our life when our zinc and our vitamin C need to separate. And sometimes, even though we may be good by ourselves, the combination of the friends and the associations we have are better off in other formulations. It was a powerful moment in my life when I learned to walk away. It's a hard thing to do. But if you're going to find your true potential in life, you have to surround yourself with great people. Well, for 4 years in professional football, I had a guy that sat right here. His name was Don Shula. And I had another guy over here, and his name was Dan Marino. And I sat between the two of them for 4 years. Don Shula has won more games in professional football than anyone. And Dan Marino, for years, had all of the passing records in the NFL. And I was surrounded by these people every day. And when I played in this game, which I need to tell you about the end of it, because I didn't. When I played in that game in the second half, after I told my teammates that I was ready for this, I threw for 250 yards in the second half. I had 3 more touchdowns to our team. So I had to count them all. And I was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week. And it wasn't just this happenstance. It was these keys about believing in yourself and accepting failure and surrounding yourself with great people. Another thing that was so valuable to me, so I take my dog for a walk every day. And I've noticed that my dog has to go to the bathroom, right? And we get to go to the bathroom in the privacy of whatever with behind a closed door, but the dog is out in public. And he just has to go. And I would watch my dog with fascination every day. And then he would back up on all 4s, and he had this focus and this strength and this dignity while he was exposed to the world. It really struck me at how valuable it is that in our moments of vulnerability, we can be strong. In fact, being vulnerable is a tremendous strength in our lives. I had a coach, Coach Shula, he was tough. And there was a day in practice when he was on one field and the quarterbacks and some of the receivers were on another field. And Dan Marino said, Scott, you know, my arm's kind of sore. Why don't you take all these reps? I thought, oh, this is exciting. I'm never going to take reps. So I started throwing passes. And I threw 9 passes in a row, completing the passes. And then the 10th one, I threw an incomplete pass. And from 2 football fields away, Coach Shula was yelling, "What's going on over there? You can't even complete a pass. I sent you over to do a drill and you can't even do it." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I just completed the first 9 passes. You just saw this last one." And I was really embarrassed. And I was mad at my coach. Because I'm like, didn't you see all of this great work that I had done? And I realized later that he was teaching me. And I was willing to see it because I allowed myself to be vulnerable. It's hard to take coaching. It's hard to take instruction for so much of us. If we say, "I got this. I don't need to hear this. Don't tell me what to do." And there's this powerful strength in being vulnerable. And what I realized from my coach was, it's not okay for you just to be out here, Scott. You have to expect perfection every single play. You may not always get it, but you need to expect it on every play. And I was just happy to be throwing passes, and he wanted me to pursue excellence. And I learned a valuable lesson in learning how to be vulnerable and accept coaching. When I first started coaching football, I was really nervous. I thought no one would show up. So I went into the halls of the high school and I looked for the biggest kids I could find. And I invited them to come and play football. I ran into this kid, Sam, and he was massive. And I said, "You got to play football." And he said, "Nope." I said, "Well, come and play." He said, "Me?" I said, "Yes." So I said, "Okay." So Sam came out to play, and I think I immediately regretted that invitation because he was not very good. He hardly played. He was massively overweight. At the end of the season, he came up to me and said, "Coach, I want to start next year. What do I have to do?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe you should go wrestle." So I said, "Look, you got to lose 70 pounds. And from someone who's lost 70 pounds, I know how hard that is." Sam lost 70 pounds. Came back, became a team captain, a starter on our team. At the end of the year, he was voted our most inspirational player. He got up and he said, "This has changed my life." His mom came up to me after and gave me a big hug, and she said, "You have no idea what this has done to my son." He was failing school when you invited him to play. He had no friends. He took medication for anxiety. He threw up every morning in anxiety to go to school. He was sexually and physically abused by his father, and he was done. And that little invitation, "Come and join us," changed his life. A few simple words. Words are worth 1,000 pictures. Just a few simple words. And in our society today, we are so quick to be so judgmental. We live on social media and we hide behind the fact that no one can confront us in our words. And they're vile often, and they're hurtful, and they're damaging. But words can change our world. Words have inspired a revolution that created our country. And words by a president brought a country back after a civil war. And they're just simple words, but they mean everything. And having a willingness to hear the words of those that inspire you. I had a scoutmaster, and I still remember his words. He said, "When I got my Eagle Scout, this is not the end, it's only the beginning. And you have to promise me that you'll continue in scouting, you'll continue to be an influence in this world for good." And it was just a few simple words in a small moment in my life. I had a coach who said, "How do you know how good you can really be?" And it inspired me to find out what I could really become as an athlete. And it was just a small, simple conversation with a few simple words. You have a choice in the words that come out of your mouth. And you can choose the impact of those words. And it's often those simple, small words that make the biggest difference in people's lives. A few years ago, I had a beautiful experience, one of the most amazing experiences of my life, in being with my father as he passed away. He'd been sick for some time, and through the tender mercies of God, I was able to spend a few moments with him alone to say goodbye. I was in a room with him, and I didn't know what to say, because what do you say in that moment? And as I was sitting there in the awkward silence, one of the nurses closed the door to the room that we were in. Behind the door was a picture of a butterfly. And as I looked at the butterfly, I felt this amazing inspiration come to me. And I shared what had happened with my dad. I said, Dad, you're this old, worn-out caterpillar who's going to go into a cocoon like you've done. And someday you're going to come back as this beautiful butterfly. And in that moment, I found hope, and I found peace with my dad. But later I found you don't have to die to find that butterfly within you. It's within all of us. We all have the ability right now to become our very best selves. We have eyes that can see into the future and see our greatest potential and see it as happening now. We have a heart that's willing to accept failure as part of success and is willing to be vulnerable. We have ears to hear the words of a coach that inspires us and teaches us and helps us. We have hands and feet to remove ourselves from the people in our lives that are bringing us down. And we have mouths that we can speak words that inspire and create change in our lives. So within all of us, we have the potential to prepare ourselves to be the greatest that we can possibly be. Thank you. Self-promote here for 1 second. If you like this, I have a podcast. It's free. If you have a phone that's somewhat smart, you'll have a podcast button on it. Just push that podcast button, type in Helmets Off, and it's really cool. I promise you you'll love it. Thank you.
Scott Mitchell for his thoughts and inspiration. We hope that you will fondly remember this important visit to the Black Hills. Please accept this Mount Rushmore plaque as a remembrance of your time in the Black Hills. We would like to thank all our table hosts today. Please stand and be recognized. Additionally, we would like to thank our speaker sponsor with an autographed jersey, Don Pollocky from Big D Oil. We would like to thank our Eagle sponsor, Neil Schlotman from Seco Construction, with an autographed helmet. We now have some special recognitions to present, and you must be present to win. the Rapid City Rush, Ivan Riker, Bill Souter, Melissa Stetzer, Justin Zekias, and Gene Smith. Steph Hike, today, you have made a difference in the lives of youth like me. Each of you have done something important for our community. Thank you again for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Please travel safe and have a great day.